Bonjour, les étudiants. Welcome back. Hope you're fine. And so this week, maybe you'll be receiving your marks. So, yeah, so most of you did it well. So, thank you so much for the interest and the dedication. And so, as we saw in the previous class, the fifth lesson, Ma Maison, we finished almost all the exercises, right? So, we had some 10 or 11 exercises, we finished everything. And so, what's remaining? It's actually the translation, the opposites, and the composition. And for the second midterm, we'll be having two lessons, that is lesson 5 and lesson 6. We'll be having Ma Maison, that's for sure. And we'll just check if we can finish the sixth lesson completely. If we can't finish the sixth lesson, then we will have till what we finished before the exam. So anyway, today we'll be saying the translation of lesson 5, Ma Maison. We got two letters, so the first letter A and letter B. So letter A, it's a bit big, so please take your book and try to follow. So it's page number 58. Yeah, so page number 58, you can take the book, and so I'll just read it once and then I'll start translating. So take your notebooks, you can start writing it, right? It will be a dictation, so I won't be showing you the English slide. Yeah, voilà. So we'll start. Leçon 5, ma maison, lettre A, notre maison. Ria décrit sa famille et sa maison à Nadège, la correspondante française. Chennai, le 18 septembre. Chère Nadège, j'habite à Chennai en famille avec mes parents. J'ai une sœur et un frère. Nous habitons une grande maison individuelle de 2 étages en banlieue. Au rez-de-chaussée, nous avons une grande salle, une cuisine et une salle à manger. Dans la salle à manger, il y a une grande table au milieu et 4 chaises autour de la table. Au premier étage, il y a 3 chambres avec salle de bain et WC. Ma sœur et moi partageons une chambre. Notre chambre est au fond du couloir. Elle est aussi grande que la chambre de mon frère. De notre chambre, on voit la fontaine du jardin public. So we'll move to the page number 59 now. Mais la chambre de mes parents est plus grande que nos chambres. Dans leur chambre, on voit de beaux tableaux de grande valeur au mur. Tout le monde adore leur collection. Mon frère a un ordinateur et une imprimante au coin de sa chambre. Il est tout le temps devant l'ordinateur. Il est moins sérieux que nous. So the last paragraph of letter A. Au dernier étage, nous avons un salon et une immense bibliothèque. Là, on trouve des bouquins partout, par terre, contre le mur, sur les étagères, sous les tables. Mon père a une énorme collection de livres en anglais, hindi, tamoul et même en français. Il lit ses livres et les journaux dans le salon. Dans le salon, nous avons un grand poste de télévision avec un système hi-fi. So that's it. So you're ready? Yeah, so you're ready for the dictation. So please take your pen, pencil and your rough note. So try to write in your rough note, then you can copy it fairly in your notebook. So we'll start. So the lesson heading, Ma Maison, it's my house. Lettre A, notre maison. Letter A, our house. Ria décrit sa famille et sa maison à Nadège. Ria describes about her family. Ria describes about her family and her house to Nadège. Ria describes about her family and her house to Nadège. So, la correspondante française. So, who is Nadège? They're asking. So, la correspondante française. So, la correspondante française, you can just write the French pen friend. The French pen friend. So, hope you remember the meaning of correspondant. Right? So, the French pen friend. So, Ria describes about her family and her house to Nadège, the French pen friend. So, now we'll start the letter. Chennai, the 18th September. So, it's a translation. So, you write as it is, the city's name, the names and everything, the date, everything, you write as it is. Okay, so just the spelling of September. Right? Chennai, 18th September. So, the next line. Cher Nadège. Cher Nadège, which means dear Nadège. So the Nadège, you can write the same spelling. I do not change the spelling. Dear Nadège. J'habite à Chennai en famille. So I live in Chennai. I live in Chennai. En famille avec mes parents. So they have given both. Okay. So en famille, which means together. Okay. So with my family. But as it's given with my parents, so I don't want to repeat it. So we just write I live in Chennai together with my parents. I live in Chennai together with my parents. J'ai une sœur et un frère. I have a sister and a brother. I have a sister and a brother. Nous habitons une grande maison individuelle de 2 étages en banlieue. We live in a big individual house. We live in a big individual house. De 2 étages, it means with 2 floors. With 2 floors. We live in a big individual house with 2 floors. En banlieue. En banlieue, which means in the suburbs. In the suburbs. Okay, S-U-B-U-R-B-S. So, as you know, suburban areas, right, which is near to the city center. Okay, it will be a bit outside from the city center. Okay, so, en banlieue. In the suburbs. We live in a big individual house with 2 floors in the suburbs. So dot. Au rez-de-chaussée, nous avons une grande salle. At the ground floor. So, or in the ground floor. So, au rez-de-chaussée, at the ground floor, we have a big hall. At the ground floor, we have a big hall, une cuisine et une salle à manger, a kitchen and a dining room. At the ground floor, rez-de-chaussée means ground floor. At the ground floor, we have a big hall, a kitchen and a dining room. Dans la salle à manger, in the dining room, il y a une grande table there is a big table. In the dining room, there is a big table. Au milieu. Au milieu, which means in the middle or at the center. Okay, you can write whatever, in the middle or at the center. Et 4 chaises autour de la table. So in the dining room, we have a big table in the middle and 4 chairs around the table. And 4 chairs around the table. So in the dining room, we have a big table. There is a big table, sorry. There is a big table in the middle and 4 chairs around the table. Au premier étage, at the first floor. So she was talking about the ground floor now, right? Okay, so now it's actually the first floor. Au premier étage, at the first floor, there are 3 rooms. Il y a 3 chambres. There are 3 rooms. There are 3 rooms with bathrooms avec salle de bain et WC. There are 3 rooms with bathrooms and toilet. So WC, it's toilet or water closet. Yeah. So it's actually the same word in English. So there are 3 rooms with bathrooms and toilet. So the next paragraph. Ma sœur et moi partageons une chambre. Ma sœur et moi partageons une chambre. So my sister and I share a room. My sister and I share a room. So my sister and I share a room. So, notre chambre est au fond du couloir. Notre chambre est au fond du couloir. So which means our room, okay, our room is at the end of the corridor. Our room is at the end of the corridor. My sister and I share a room. Our room is at the end of the corridor. It's at the last of the corridor or it's at the end of the corridor. Elle est aussi grande que la chambre de mon frère. So, elle est aussi grande. Elle, it's actually referring the chambre. Okay, so we'll be just writing it is. Okay, it is as big as the room of my brother. It is as big as the room of my brother. It is as big as my brother's room, or it is as big as the room of my brother. So we can write anyway. It is as big as the room of my brother. De notre chambre, on voit la fontaine du jardin public. De notre chambre, which means from our room. Okay, from our room. De notre chambre, from our room, on voit la fontaine du jardin public. We can see the fountain. On voit la fontaine, which means we can see. Okay, in French you can directly say on voit. Okay, so even in English you can say we can see. Okay, we see. Okay, so we can see the fountain of the public garden. So from our room, we can see the fountain of the public garden. So from their room, which means from the window. Okay, from the window they can see the garden, and so the fountain is visible. Okay, so de notre chambre, on voit la fontaine du jardin public. So from our room, we can see the fountain of the public garden. So now the next paragraph, page number 59. Mais la chambre de mes parents est plus grande que nos chambres. But the room of my parents, is bigger than our rooms. But the room of my parents is bigger than our rooms. But the room of my parents is bigger than our rooms. Dot. Dans leur chambre, in their room, on voit de beaux tableaux de grande valeur au mur. So in their room, on voit de beaux tableaux de grande valeur. So one can see, or we can see some beautiful paintings. So we can see some beautiful paintings. De grande valeur. Okay, so de grande valeur, which means valuable. Okay, so with a high value. Okay, so which is like really expensive or costly. So we can see some beautiful paintings of high value, of big value on the walls. We can see some beautiful paintings of high value on the walls. Tout le monde adore leur collection. Tout le monde, everyone, adore their collection. So everyone adore their collection. So the next paragraph. Mon frère a un ordinateur et une imprimante au coin de sa chambre. So my brother has a computer. Okay, my brother has a computer and a printer in the corner of his room. My brother has a computer and a printer. Ordinateur means computer. Imprimante means a printer. Right? And a printer in the corner of his room. De sa chambre. Au coin, which means in the corner. In the corner of his room. Il est tout le temps devant l'ordinateur. Il est tout le temps devant l'ordinateur. Tout le temps, which means toujours, okay, all the time, always. He is always in front of the computer. He is always in front of the computer. He is always in front of the computer. Il est moins sérieux que nous. Il est moins sérieux que nous. He is less serious than us. He is less serious than us. Okay, which means he is playful. Il est moins sérieux que nous. He is less serious than us. So coming to the last paragraph of letter A. So it's one big letter. So even I feel sleepy. Yeah. So okay. So au dernier étage. So now we are talking about the last floor. Au dernier étage. At the last floor. Nous avons un salon et une immense bibliothèque. Nous avons un salon et une immense bibliothèque. We have a hall. At the last floor, we have a hall and an immense library. So immense, which means very big, you have here. So you got the same word in English. We have a hall and an immense library. So dot. La, there. So la with an accent, which is there. There we can find. On trouve, we can find. Là, there we can find des bouquins partout. Des bouquins partout. Some books everywhere. So bouquin means books, right? So some books everywhere. Par terre, contre le mur, sur les étagères, sous les tables. So par terre, which means on the floor. On the floor. So it's actually the big library. So there actually we can see books everywhere. Okay, so on the floor, on the walls. Contre le mur, which means on the walls. Par terre, on the floor. Contre le mur, on the walls. Sur les étagères. Sur les étagères. Étagère means shelves. Right? On the shelves. Sous les tables. Sous les tables. Under the tables. Sous les tables. Under the tables. Mon père a une énorme collection de livres en anglais, hindi, tamoul et même en français. My father has an enormous collection. So enormous, which means the same, very big, same way like immense. So we got another word, enormous. So my father has an enormous collection of books. My father has an enormous collection of books en anglais, hindi, tamoul et même en français. In English, Hindi, Tamil, and even in French. My father has an enormous collection of books in English, Hindi, Tamil, and even in French. Même en français, which means even in French. Il lit ses livres et les journaux dans le salon. He reads his books. He reads his books and the newspapers in the hall. He reads his books and the newspapers in the hall. So the last line of letter A. Dans le salon, nous avons un grand poste de télévision avec un système Hi-Fi. In the hall, we have a big television set. Poste de télévision, which means a television set. So in the hall, we have a big television set with a hi-fi system. With a hi-fi system. Okay, so in the hall we have a big television set with a hi-fi system. So fine. Okay, donc it's already late. Okay, fine. I'll just read it once. Okay, so please check if you have written it properly, correctly. The heading, my house, letter A, our house. Riyadh describes about her family and her house to Nadej, the French pen friend. Chennai, the 18th September. Dear Nadej, I live in Chennai together with my parents. I have a sister and a brother. We live in a big individual house with 2 floors in the suburbs. At the ground floor, we have a big hall, a kitchen, and a dining room. In the dining room, we have a big table in the middle and 4 chairs around the table. At the first floor, there are 3 rooms with bathrooms and a toilet. My sister and I share a room. Our room is at the end of the corridor. It is as big as the room of my brother. From our room, we can see the fountain of the public garden. But the room of my parents is bigger than our rooms. In their room, we can see some beautiful paintings of high value on the walls. Everyone adore their collection. My brother has a computer and a printer in the corner of his room. He is always in front of the computer. He is less serious than us. At the last floor, we have a hall and an immense library. There we can find some books everywhere, on the floor, on the wall, on the shelves, under the tables. My father has an enormous collection of books in English, Hindi, Tamil, and even in French. He reads his books and the journals and the newspapers in the hall. In the hall, we have a big television set with a hi-fi system. Okay, so we'll continue with the letter B now. We'll finish it. It's not that big, okay, it's really small. We are talking about the garden here, okay, the second letter. So it's actually about the garden. So it's just 2 paragraphs. Okay? Lettre B. I'll read it once in French so that you can rest. Notre jardin. À gauche de notre maison, il y a un garage. Le jardin est devant la maison. Là, nous avons toutes sortes d'arbres, des bananiers, des manguiers, des cocotiers, etc. Les feuilles tombent partout. On a aussi des roses, des jasmins, des chrysanthèmes, etc. Right? Des chrysanthèmes, etc. No, chrysanthemum, it's in English, right? Chrysanthème, oui, pardon, chrysanthème, des chrysanthèmes, etc. Notre jardin ressemble à une pépinière. Notre jardin ressemble à une pépinière. Nos chats jouent sur le gazon du jardin. C'est vraiment amusant. Moi aussi, je joue au cricket avec mon frère et ses amis dans le jardin. Quelquefois, ma mère joue du violon dans le jardin. Yeah. So we'll go for the translation now. Yeah, hope you took rest. Letter B, our garden. Letter B, our garden. Notre jardin, it's our garden. À gauche de notre maison, at the left of our house, at the left of our house, il y a un garage. So that is a garage. So that is a shed. You can write shed, a car shed, or a garage. Il y a un garage, that is a garage. Le jardin est devant la maison. Le jardin est devant la maison. The garden is in front of the house. The garden is in front of the house. Là, nous avons toutes sortes d'arbres. There we have all kinds of trees. There we have all kinds of trees. Des bananiers, some banana trees. Des manguiers, some mango trees. Des cocotiers, some coconut trees, etc. So I'll just repeat. At the left of our house, there is a shed, there is a garage. The garden is in front of the house. There we have all kinds of trees, some banana trees, some mango trees, some coconut trees, etc. Les feuilles tombent partout. The leaves fall everywhere. The leaves fall everywhere. The leaves fall everywhere. On a aussi des roses, des jasmins, des chrysanthèmes, etc. On a aussi des roses, des jasmins, des chrysanthèmes, etc. We also have, okay, now we are talking about the flowers and plants. We also have some roses, jasmines, chrysanthemums in English. So careful with the spelling. So it's actually the same spelling as in French. Okay, so chrysanthemum till the THEM will be the same. Okay, then it will be UMS. Instead of ES at the last, you just write UMS in English without that accent. It's CHRYSANTHEMUMS. Chrysanthemums, etc. We also have roses. We also have some roses, some jasmines, chrysanthemums, etc. So the last paragraph. Notre jardin ressemble à une pépinière. So our garden resembles to a nursery. Our garden resembles to a nursery. Nos chats jouent sur le gazon du jardin. Our cats play on the grass of the garden. Our cats play on the grass of the garden. So our garden resembles to a nursery. Our cats play on the grass of the garden. C'est vraiment amusant. C'est vraiment amusant. It's really amusing, or it's really funny. Amusant, you can write funny also. It's really funny. Vraiment means really. It's really funny. Moi aussi, je joue au cricket avec mon frère et ses amis dans le jardin. Me too. Okay, so me also. I play cricket. Me too. I play cricket with my brother and his friends in the garden. So me too. I play cricket with my brother and his friends in the garden. Quelquefois, ma mère joue du violon dans le jardin. So at times, sometimes, my mother plays violin in the garden. Quelquefois, ma mère joue du violon dans le jardin. At times, my mother plays violin in the garden. Okay, so I'll just repeat the whole thing, the letter B. So please check. Letter B, our garden. At the left of our house, there is a shed. The garden is in front of the house. There we have all kinds of trees, some banana trees, mango trees, coconut trees, etc. The leaves fall everywhere. We also have some roses, some jasmines, chrysanthemums, etc. Our garden resembles to a nursery. Our cats play on the grass of the garden. It's really funny. Me too. I play cricket with my brother and his friends in the garden. At times, my mother plays violin in the garden. So that's it for today. Okay, so sorry for taking too much time, and hope you wrote this. So please write your classwork, which is really, really important, and try to submit your classwork. Please finish all these things. And so merci beaucoup. The next week we'll see the maybe the opposites, or maybe we'll see the next lesson. We'll start the next lesson. Yeah, okay. So merci beaucoup. Ciao.